In this module, you learn how to use synths and stabs in Simpler to create more rhythmical elements in your tunes. To start off with, load up the Module 4 live set from the SonicAcademy resources folder. We're going to load a simpler instrument into the track we're going to be working on by dragging it from the instrument browser into the empty space beside our last track. This will automatically create a new MIDI track. So this is a good point to rename your tracks so you can quickly and easily see which track refers to which sound. Click on the track name and select Rename from the Edit menu. Now we can rename the track. We can call this one Stab Synth 1. If you look in your resources folder, you can see a file named Stab1. This is the sample we're going to load into Simpler by dragging and dropping it into the sample slot. Now we're going to have to match the pitch of the sample with the pitch of the song so that it all sounds in tune. This can sometimes be tricky and may take a bit of practice. We're going to start by turning on the record arm switch at the bottom of the track. If you're not getting any sounds when playing your computer keyboard, make sure the computer keyboard button is switched on. We can now play the rest of our tune and play up and down the keyboard until we find the sound that works best. Once we've found a note that fits, which in this case happens to be an A, we can double click on a blank clip space to create a MIDI clip. If we scroll up and down while playing the key, it'll flash red. Next, we can make sure we're in draw mode by clicking the pen icon. Then we'll draw in a couple of notes, click the play icon and see what they sound like. We can move them left and right to create different rhythms until you find some that work. So now we've got one stab in place, we can add a second one in with a different sound. We're going to use the same track and instrument type for our second stab sample, so we can simply duplicate the first stab track by clicking on the track name and selecting Duplicate from the Edit menu. We now have a second track that's exactly the same as the first. We now have to alter a number of elements within the track to create a new synth stab track. First, we can change the sample by simply dragging the Synth Stab 2 sample from the resources folder into the Simpler. This will replace the first stab with the new one. All we have to do now is move the notes in the MIDI editor to different rhythmic positions than the previous synth sample. We can then play this around to hear what it sounds like. This is a good point to save your work as we've made some considerable changes to your tune. We can save by clicking Apple and the S key or Control and S on a PC. Now we're going to move on to the vocal samples by dragging a Simpler into the empty space beside our last track and loading in a vocal sample from the resources folder. Now we've got the vocal sample loaded, we can start creating new sounds by adjusting the start time control on Simpler. This works great with vocals but can also be used in many other types of sample like basses or stabs. All we have to do is click on Simpler and adjust the start time control. If we click in some MIDI notes in the editor and press play, we can see the start time moving across the waveform of the sample. This is a great way to turn vocals into rhythmical parts that we can add into our tune. Now we can add a second Simpler with the same vocal sample to create a different sound. You can either control click on a Mac or right click on a PC on the track name and select duplicate. This will copy the vocal track over completely. This time, adjust the start time of the sample to play a different section, giving you another sound. Also change the positions of the notes in the MIDI editor, which will add to the rhythm of the tune. The main reasons we've added these sounds is to create more interesting rhythms in your tune. So in summary, in this module we've looked at using stabs and samples in Simpler to build up more rhythmical elements in your tune. In the next module we'll show you how to use MIDI effects.